in discussing what we do here at the office, and I hope to answer a lot of questions for you all tonight. I also hope to raise a bunch of questions for you tonight, so by the time you leave, I get you scratching your head thinking about different things in a different way. That's absolutely one of my goals. So, True Wellness is a nutritionally based biological therapy clinic, and what that means is that one of the big pillars that we stand on is nutrition. Because we know, and I'm sure most of you know, that today getting good nutrition is almost impossible. So we make it one of the cornerstones of what we do in the office to let people understand that the nutrition that we have and that we deal with every day is real important in regards to our health. In relationship to biological therapy, biological medicine, we have a medical doctor here who studies biological medicine and employs biological medicine, so I can actually say that today. Before she was here, it was biological therapy, because we didn't do any medicine. I don't cure, treat, diagnose anything. If you come to True Wellness and you start to feel better because you spend time with us, it's a coincidence. It's a good coincidence, but we call it a coincidence. So there you go. There's my disclaimers for the night. I'm not a medical doctor, and we don't take on patients, we take on clients who are willing to work with us in more of a partnership to go down the road to return ourselves to health, to what we're really looking for. In biological therapy and at True Wellness here, you're going to hear a lot about what is called regulation. And I've been involved in alternative healthcare for a long time. And I've worked with a lot of different practitioners at different levels, acupuncturists, chiropractors, medical doctors. And throughout the 20-some years that I've been doing this, a lot of practitioners talked about balancing the body out. And I'm sure if you've been to alternative folks and nutritionists and things like that, you've heard that before. Oh, I want to balance your system, make you well. I used to use that a lot too. I used to say to people, oh, we're going to work balancing your system and make you well. And to be honest with you, I didn't really know what that meant. I mean, I knew we were doing a lot of things. We were trying to help people with their nutrition, but I didn't actually understand what did that mean to balance someone's body out. When I talk to docs and other practitioners today, they use that term. I always say to them, what are you balancing? What are you balancing? So I went all over the place trying to figure out what we were balancing. And fortunately, about 5 years ago, we ran into someone who was teaching a class and talking about balancing the body out. And he said, the way we balance the body out is through the regulation. And I went, oh my goodness, what is regulation? And this is a real important aspect of allowing the body to heal naturally. Regulation is the concept between the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system, which are aspects of what's called the autonomic nervous system. It's kind of the guy that drives the bus. You don't have to think about much. This is what we were taught, what we discovered, what was discovered as regulation. Your parasympathetic nervous system, this aspect of your nervous system, is really responsible for allowing you to rest, to heal, to digest food, to experience life without stress. Parasympathetic, right around 7 o'clock tonight, 7:30 as we chat away, and everybody's sitting down, the body goes parasympathetic. And if I'm not very entertaining, you'll actually fall asleep. That's what your system should naturally do right around 7 o'clock at night. It stops digesting, it starts to look for anything it needs to heal, it starts to prepare to go into rest mode. We really find that healing only really occurs when we're in the parasympathetic nervous system state, when we're sleeping. Healing occurs. This is an important part of the system, and ideally, not that we all live in an ideal world, but ideally I always think about trying to be over here about 80% of the time, and that's probably a fantasy. The other side of the coin is the sympathetic nervous system. Actually, I probably do. I am over here most of the time. The other part of the body, the other part of the nervous system that's important to us is what's called the sympathetic nervous system. It's just as important as this guy, just does the opposite. This allows us to burn energy. This wakes you up in the morning. This part of the nervous system is, if I were to say to you, stand up for me, go get a drink of water, when she stands up, the body goes, oh, I'm about to burn energy for some reason. That's what it's designed to do. It's also the fight or flight syndrome for people. So we're driving the car down the street, and the dog runs out in front of you, and you hit the brakes. You don't hit the dog, but you feel that, whew, right? You ever have that experience where it feels like the adrenaline kicks in? That's a sympathetic nervous system response. That's designed to let you survive a challenge. If we do this properly, and you do it 24 hours a day, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, if you're alive, you should be doing this dance in your nervous system. When I sit down, I start to rest, feeling digestion. I stand up, I burn energy. Once I stand up to burn energy, if my nervous system realizes that I'm not under a deep challenge, I should be able to go back to being parasympathetic, work all day, walk the mall, handle the kids, and not be real stressed out. If you do this right, you have good regulation, and what docs have found over the last 35 years, especially in Switzerland and Germany, they have found by studying this that this is the first indication that shows up for people prior to getting ill. The regulation changes. It shifts, and it becomes dominant in one way or the other, or becomes deficient in one way or the other. And typically, okay, what we find is that people become parasympathetically a little deficient and sympathetically stressed out. Sounds like America. Sounds like New York City, the New York City syndrome. Okay? But what happens is if you get stuck in a regulation that's a little disbalanced, it starts to wear me out. It starts to wear me out. And there are particular specific things that actually start to wear this out or cause an actual disturbance to the point where this balance, this parasympathetic response and the sympathetic response stops. That's called blocked regulation. It's the worst regulation. It's what we don't want for anyone. We want this to constantly be working. If there's blocked regulation, the regulation kind of stops and the body goes, I'm just going to keep doing this until one day I can't. There's no resting, healing, digesting, burning energy appropriately. Over the last 30, 35 years, the docs in Switzerland and Germany have found that regulation is deeply important in regards to not just predicting what's going on down the road. When you see somebody's regulation is not real well, you go, listen, over time, there's going to be issues for you. It also gives us a guideline on the therapies that we do that can help bring that regulation back into balance. And there are really 7 primary things that affect our regulation. I say primary things because there's more than just 7, but there are 7 primary things that over the last 30 years they have found to deeply affect the regulation. And all illness and injury for us at this point is multi-causational. There's not one thing that ever makes us sick. It's never just one thing. It's a myriad of different things hitting us at different times in our lives to weaken us to the point where our regulation starts to fail a little bit, and then symptoms come up. Okay? And those 7 things, I'm going to put them in the trash can for you. That's my trash can. Because that's us. Okay? We hit the planet, and on some level, if you're lucky, you're an empty trash can. Unfortunately, today, I'm finding a lot of people that suffer with PL. You know what PL is? Preloaded. They're born preloaded with stuff already going on. Okay, so their trash can's already been a little full. I've been doing this a long time to the point where I've actually watched children come into my office now, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, come into the office with illnesses when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old that I didn't see till people were in their 40s. I got kids coming in with eczema that is horrendous all over their body. They're 5 years old. So there's a preload going on in regards to the environment, in regards to mom's health when she was pregnant with the child and all of that, that kids are hitting the planet today, and for the very first time in human history, they're predicting that our children will live shorter lives than their parents. For the very first time in history, this is going to happen. Our kids are getting diabetes earlier, our kids are getting heart disease earlier, and they're saying that our children's lifespan is going to be shorter than ours for the first time in history. I think a lot of it's because they're preloaded. They're hitting the planet already stressed out. Now, the 7 primary things that we're up against besides the preload is a part of that. There are really 7 things that cause the regulation of the body to start to have disbalance, back into trying to balance this out. Those primary stressors are foods, and I always put this up there, and water. And the reason I say food and water is a couple of reasons. Number one is for about 65% of us walking around today, we're chronically dehydrated. People are not drinking enough water. Thank you. And an easy way to just handle that, and I've got people come in and go, oh, I'm never thirsty. Oh, if I drink water, I get acid reflux. Really? The easiest way to handle that in relationship to the dehydration, and many symptoms will go away if you do this. Take your body weight, cut it in half, and say to yourself, that's how many ounces of water I'm drinking every day. That's actually the minimum. If you're not athletic, if you're not out there doing construction, you know, and all that stuff, you can get away with about half your body weight in ounces. If you're athletic, if you're on the construction site, if you're roofing, or you're pulling wires as an electrician, you need much more water than that, okay? We're 70% water, your brain's always 90% water. Your entire life, your body will work to make sure your brain is 90% water. So it will dehydrate other organs to make sure your brain gets 90% water. Flush yourself with water, you feel better in a lot of ways. It's a cheap fix. Okay, don't drink tap water. Foods is a whole nother issue. There's a couple of things with foods. Number one is, most of us are what I call subclinically malnourished. It means we eat every day, but we don't actually get anything out of the food. They're empty calories. People are walking around, and I know this happens to a lot of us. Somebody will eat a meal, and it's not Chinese food, and a half hour later, 45 minutes later, they're going, I want something. I want a little snack. Yeah, has that ever happened to you? You eat a meal, and then you go, oh, I want a little something. Here's what's happening. The meal you ate didn't give you what you needed in regards to nutrition or typically minerals and vitamins, and your body's going, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something else. And so if you find yourself craving in between meals, go back and look at the meal you're eating and make sure you're actually getting some nutrition out of it. The other aspect with foods, okay, so we don't get all the nutrition we actually need out of food. We don't really drink all the water that we actually need. The other aspect is that our bodies and our environment create food allergies. And food allergies are a big stressor on the immune system. They're a big stressor on your regulation. We know over lots of studying that no one has the market cornered on nutrition. I mean, downstairs on my door it says, nutritionally based biological therapy clinic, and I'm telling you right now, nobody knows the real deal on nutrition. So what we try and do is we try and pick and choose from different aspects, depending on what's going on for the person, to try and help them with their nutrition. There's some real easy things you can do right off the bat. Don't eat fast food. It's not food. Okay? Realize that anything you buy from the grocery store typically travels about 1,500 miles to get to you. By the time you cook it and put it on your plate, there's very little nutrition in it. The only supplements that you should be really looking at to spend any money on, you got to make sure they're organic, whole food supplements. If they're typical GNC kind of stuff, you're putting a rock in and a rock is coming out and you're wasting your money. I'm not kidding you. It's totally legal to take stone and completely pulverize it, put it in a capsule and sell it to you as a mineral, because it is. And I can sell it all day long as a mineral to you. Doesn't mean your body's going to get anything out of it, but I'll make a fortune selling minerals. And it's done all the time. So foods and food allergies and the lack of good nutrition and water is a huge stressor on our immune system. And remember this, it was said 5,000 years ago, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. You can heal with food, it can also make you sick, okay? So these are one of the big stressors for us. And then you have metals. And a lot of times when I put metals up as a big stressor, people go, well, no, what? Where do I get metal? You get metal from everywhere. You can get it in your food. They have found today that about 50% of high fructose corn syrup has mercury in it. Okay, that's nice. I don't even know how they do that. Here's our high fructose corn syrup. Let's throw a little mercury in there for kicks. I think it's coming out of the ground when they're actually making the corn, raising the corn. I think it's in the corn. Regardless, so our food can give us metals. Dental work is typically the biggest place where all of us get hit with metals. They start at 10, 11, 12 years old. They start sticking some amalgam fillings, some silver, some tin, some nickel, some different materials, and they put it in our teeth. And over time, it just starts to leach. It's a tiny, slow leaching of a heavy metal. Remember this, mercury and other metals like that, especially mercury, is the most toxic, non-radioactive metal on the planet. So you've got uranium, plutonium, and mercury in that line. but I can stick it in your teeth and it's okay. It's scary. It poisons a lot of people. There's a lot of issues around metals in the body. And you get metals from immunizations. You get metals from that's one of the preloads, actually, guys. One of the preloads I see with kids. And a lot of times, this was new information to me. A lot of times when a woman becomes pregnant, I don't think they're doing it anymore, but they used to say, "Oh, let's get your teeth handled," and they would fill all the cavities while the woman is pregnant and put metal in their mouth. They're preloading the kids. Okay. Then you've got chemicals. Same kind of thing. There's over 7,000 chemicals in regular municipal tap water. That's known. They know. There's about 7,000. They've done studies on the interactions of about 4 of them together. So your tap water's full of chemicals. You get pesticides, herbicides, fungicides from the foods that we eat. You also get a lot of chemicals from the air. Women in particularly are very sensitive and susceptible to chemicals and particles from diesel fuel. Trucks that run diesel fuel affects women's lungs much more than it affects men. So we're getting dosed all the time. Okay? This planet we're on is a finite little bubble, and we've been poisoning it for a long time. So the big stressors for us are foods, metals, chemicals. Now it gets even weirder. Scars. Scars on your skin. I told you it was going to get weird. She went, what? So far she was like, yep, food, chemicals, now I got it. I went scars and she went, what? Here's why. This is very interesting. I didn't know either. Okay? Our skin, the surface of our skin, has about 0.25 millihertz of electricity, about 70 millihertz of electricity running up and down it all the time. It's natural. It's biological. It's the thing that makes us different from the cadaver that's laying in the morgue. The difference between him and me is that I've got electricity running through my body. If I drop dead right now, hit the floor, he's gone. The only difference, everything's there, but my electricity is gone. Okay? And you've all been hooked up to stuff and you see the electricity, whether it's your brain or your heart. Okay? Scars on your body, being cut, being stitched, being tattooed or pierced, burned as well, will cause that area of the skin to go from 70 millihertz to about 25 millihertz. Much hotter. The doc who told me this said, if you could imagine the body being completely blue, every scar is red. Every scar is bright red. So we have Dr. Denise to do therapy on scars because this is a big primary issue in regards to stopping the regulation for people. It's kind of amazing. The first therapies that are typically done for folks is scar work. Get all the scars out of the way. Handle this stressor on the body, and all the other therapies we do are much more powerful. So it's a big stressor. And just out of curiosity, is there anybody here tonight, anybody at all, that has no scars on their body? None of us get out without scars. But the good thing is that if you know that, they can be handled, and they don't have to be a big stressor on the immune system of the body. Immune challenges. Things like bacteria, virus, fungus, and mold. I kind of leave that almost to the last because I can't say it again. Because I know in my gut that's an inside joke, I'll tell you why. I know in my gut that immune challenges are something that our body are designed to deal with. Our bodies are designed to deal with bacteria, virus, fungus, and mold. Here's why. We have more bacteria inside of us than we have cells of our body. We are not a bag of cells. We are actually a bag of bacteria. And it is this beautiful bacterial balance in primarily our digestive tract. And when people talk about this, they think, oh, acidophilus and things like that. When we talk about the digestive tract and the bacteria, the good and the bad, in regards to bacteria in the digestive tract, we're talking about the mucosal lining of the digestive tract. Anywhere from your nose and your mouth all the way through to the exit is wet inside. There is a thin mucosal lining that houses the good and the bad guys. And you want about 80% good, 20% bad bacteria in the digestive system. Here's why. If you have 20% bad, the body understands what that negative bacteria is, and when it comes into the system, it goes, oh, I've seen that before, we should kill that and keep it down around 20%. If you don't have that, the body can't respond to it, and then bad bacteria grows. So there is a wonderful balance that you want in your digestive tract, and there's lots of ways to do that. Don't go home and take a bunch of acidophilus. Don't go to the store tomorrow and buy a bunch of acidophilus and go, oh, I'm going to handle my digestive tract. Because you'll do yourself a little disservice. Because if I take 20%, well, let's do 80%. 80% good bacteria, we'll call acidophilus good bacteria. And I start pumping that in. If I overdo that, it ends up being bad. So again, we're looking for that balance. We're looking for that balance. The mucosal lining is a big part of our immune system, and one of the things that we have found is that there's something called biofilm that builds up. I'll bet all of you tonight, excuse me, haven't had an opportunity over the last 3 or 4 hours probably to brush your teeth. Anybody brush your teeth in the last 4 or 5 hours? Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. You're awesome. Well, if you haven't, or even if you have, do me a favor, just as you sit here tonight, take your tongue, or run it on the outside of your teeth. You feel the film? You feel a little film? Ready? This will freak you out. You'll all be brushing your teeth as much as we do. Ready? Every 4 hours, the bacteria in your mouth doubles. Every 4 hours, the bacteria in your mouth doubles. So a good dentist friend of ours and teacher said, you know how to brush your teeth every 4 hours. Just think about brushing your teeth. I'm going to brush my teeth every 4 hours. But here's why I mention this, okay? Here's why he taught this way. That same film, that same feeling, builds up on the mucosal lining of your body. These are microbes that start to colonize and go, I love mucosal lining. Wherever it's warm and wet, I'm going. And it starts to attach to the mucosal lining of our system, from the sinuses all the way through the digestive tract, and it impedes on the mucosal lining's real job. Now I've got a weakened immune system, and it's just not going to go away. It just gets cloggier and cloggier and cloggier. The last and final one that I put at the top of the trash can. And these are the primaries, remember, they're not the only things, but they're the primary things that cause the regulation to have an issue, that eventually, if that regulation shifts, this shows me some symptoms. If I let that go long enough, I'm going to know. If I let that go long enough, I'm now diagnosed with disease. The last one is emotional stress. These are the primary things that fill up our trash can over time. How much time? Well, like I said to you earlier, I've got 5-year-olds now whose trash cans are completely full. And what happens, guys, is that you might be able to walk around with a trash can that's completely full and go, I don't have any symptoms. Okay? And maybe you don't. But I've also watched this happen with folks over time. There's something called habituation. And what it means is that I get used to having a headache twice a week. And I go, it's no big deal. I live with it. It actually becomes kind of normal. And I'm used to it. That's habituation. There's nothing normal about having a headache once or twice a week. I've had people come in and go, I ask them, how are your bowels? Are you a good pooper? It's important to me. And they go, absolutely. I go twice a week, no matter what. And I go, okay, how long you been doing that? And they go, it's normal for me. I've been doing it forever. But we all know that you should poop 3 times a day. If you eat 3 times a day, it's the old 3 cars in the garage, 3 cars out of the garage. If I eat 3 times a day, I should poop 3 times a day. Most of us don't. I'm happy when folks are telling me, hey, I'm pooping twice a day. Awesome. Better than twice a week. And there's a lot of 2 and 3 times a weekers out there. Okay? What happens is, if something happens to me over a period of time, long enough, I just get used to it. And I call it normal. Okay? So habituation is a problem when we have a full trash can. Because I walk around going, well, the limp I got going on, my little knee pain, I'll just live with. And I get used to it and I start to ignore it. So here's the issue. One more little thing happens to us. Maybe there's a deeper emotional stress. Maybe you're standing in an elevator one day, a woman walks in with some perfume on. I go, and I get a headache. I immediately go, her perfume gave me the headache. That's kind of a natural way to think about it. But it's not true. The perfume just caused my full trash can to leak some garbage out. And it's the leaking of the garbage out that is the symptom for me. And now I'm going, oh, perfume's bad. I can't handle anybody with perfume. But it's really not true. Your body should be able to handle perfume. I've got people that come in and go, it's allergy season. Here comes the pollen. I go, well, it's not the pollen. That's the issue. And they go, yeah, every year the pollen hits me nose and it's an issue. I go, listen, if I take some of these stressors out and you get a little pollen, you're not going to feel it. Here's why. I could stand here tonight with everybody in the room. We close all the windows up and I pump ragweed into the room. The yellow stuff all over us, like on the car, right? I'm going to tell you what, half the room would freak out, eyes watering, nose sneezing, I'm coughing, oh my gosh, allergies. The rest of us sit in the room and go, huh? What? What do you mean you're suffering? Because I don't suffer from pollen. Jess doesn't suffer from pollen. If every human being on the planet doesn't suffer from it, is it the pollen or is it our bodies? It's our bodies. It's how loaded is this trash can. Because if I unload this thing and hit you with some pollen, your body's going to go, yeah, bring it on. I don't care. No symptoms. I will handle that. You with me? So here's the trick. There's typically two options to this experience. Because we're all walking around on some level with some level of a loaded trash can. And I'm glad there's some guys here tonight because, gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. I got 2 bags of trash that I'm taking out to the curb. I get out to the trash can, I flip it open, and it's full. What do?
Shove it in.
Jen.
Yeah, I'm getting in it, and I'm crushing it down, and I'm going to get these 2 extra bags in, okay? That's exactly what medication does to you. Medication, when you take a med, you go to a doctor, you go, I've got symptoms I don't want to deal with anymore. He goes, no problem. Tell me what them symptoms are. That sounds good, I kind of got that one. He writes you a script, he goes, take this medication. The medication forces a stopping of the symptom. It squishes down the garbage so I can get some more bags in there. And if I take the med for 5 years, I can get a lot of garbage in. But at some point, typically what happens is people go, I'm tired of taking Lexapro. I'm tired of taking Xanax. I'm tired of taking Celexa. And they come to somebody like me and they go, I don't want to take meds anymore. I go, okay, I think that's a good idea. Because medication typically blocks regulation. A lot of times when we do, and I'm going to go over this, the different things that we do to figure this out with folks, there's a very important test that we do called a heart rate variability. The heart rate variability is a computerized test. It's a strap. Hooks you up to a computer, you lay down, and you lay there for about 7 minutes. It wants to see how parasympathetic you can get. When I lay this guy down, does his body really go into resting and healing? Then the computer beeps, and you stand up. And now you stand for another 7 minutes. And the computer's looking at how well do you do the sympathetic thing, and can you get back here while you're standing up? Okay? When folks do this test for us, it gives us a real good idea of how full is this trash can. Do you regulate well? Do I got a real good regulator? Or I've got somebody that's not regulating very well? When we know what's going on, the medication that the doc gives you will squish this down and allow more toxins to fill up. Person comes in and goes, I don't want to take medications. There's got to be another way. And look, I'll say this before we end tonight. This type of work isn't for everybody, and that's okay. This type of work is absolutely for people that are really looking for something different. They go, you know what? It doesn't make any sense to me anymore. I'm going to figure this out in a different way. There's other ways to deal with my health than suppressing my symptoms all the time. I go from 1 medication to 2 medication to 5 medication. Now I'm taking so many meds, I don't know what's doing what to me. And most folks today are like that. So the option is, you can take a medication, we can push the garbage down and probably block your regulation and just get you going. There's only one other way that we figured out to this point on how to handle this trash can. What I need to do, what I look to do, is I try and punch holes in the bottom of the trash can. I grab somebody and say, look, tell me what you're eating. What's your diet like? I don't care. I'm not judging you. Let's talk about what your diet's like. And maybe make some changes in the diet. What's the word I'm looking for? Take one thing out, put another thing in.
Substitute.
Substitute. I try not to go, look, you're eliminating that for the rest of your life. You can never have that again, and you can't have anything that looks like it. Well, who wants to do that? But I might say, listen, you're a big milk lover. I get it. I want you to slowly get off of milk, and let's try you on hemp milk, almond milk, right? Any kind of other vegetable milk other than cow dairy, because you're real congested, it might be an issue for you. So we try and substitute things so people feel like, well, they're not just stripping stuff away. You can't do this, you can't do that. There's plenty of substitutions so that you can continue to live a good life. Where was I with all of that?
Punching holes.
Pardon me?
Punching holes.
Yeah, punching holes in the garbage can. Good. So I'm going to go, okay, what's your food like? Are you really drinking enough water for us? And we'll make some little changes. And those little changes start to punch a hole in the trash can. I want to drain this garbage out. Then we look at the metal component for folks. And it's not easy. Listen, nobody likes to sit down and go, really? For the last 45 years, a dentist has been putting stuff in my mouth that's actually making me sick. Really? Are they allowed to do that? They don't know they're doing that. There's a whole controversy around the whole dental thing. But it's easy to understand it if we just simply look at it this way. We are living creatures, totally biological. We're not a machine in any way. Western medicine is, over the last couple hundred years, has looked at the body like it was a machine, mechanical. If my knee hurts, they look at my knee. If your knee hurts, I look at your digestive system. Because it's all one beautiful, living, changing thing. Look, your cars out there tonight, from one day to the next, will not change at all. They'll get older, they might rust out on us over time, but they're not going to really change. I'm telling you, every single day you're different. Every 7 years you're completely different, and there's never a point where you stop unless you got blocked regulation. Blocked regulation is stopped. But the human living creature that we are is a constantly changing thing. It's always moving, it's dynamic. And so you can't look at it mechanistically, because it's the tiniest part of it is the machine. The rest is very dynamic. So we look at all these different things and how that affects this living creature. When you take something that's inorganic, like a heavy metal, and you put it in a living creature, that nervous system does not know what to do with it. And the cool thing is that our bodies, no matter what, they never make a mistake. Now, I know there's people in the room tonight going, what do you mean? I'm sick. I'm actually dealing with a diagnosis. I'm telling you, your body never makes a mistake. It compensates for the stressors to the best of its ability. So for some of us tonight, there are people in the room tonight, no kidding, that have little fat cysts in their backs. That happens to a lot of guys. Little fat cysts in the back. That is your body taking toxins and going, can I get that away from the organs and put it somewhere where it's relatively safe? Can I put this stuff somewhere where it's not going to bother them? Ladies, your bodies work hard to handle toxins all the time. And the place that it primarily stores them is your breasts. And breast issues are rampant in this country. Rampant. Ridiculous. All around the world. It's toxins. And there's different areas. And we can get deeper into that. It's not important. What's important is to realize we're all of us. You cannot escape this. You all deal with these primary stressors. And it's how we compensate for them. It's how we react to them. It's how we regulate with them that allow us to either live in health and have the ability to go into regeneration more than we go into degeneration. Because that is absolutely the dance we do. Okay? As time goes on, your system is always regulating and always moving in two directions. I either degenerate a little bit. That means I get older, my cells don't recoup as much, I don't get rid of my toxins as well. Or I fall into regeneration. And there should be the dance, guys. Because here's the thing. When you eat food and you burn those calories, you degenerate a little bit. It's hard on your system. Yeah. But the nutrition you get out of it should help you regenerate. So all day long, we're in that dance. All day long, we're in this dance. Parasympathetic, resting, healing, digesting. Sympathetic, burning energy, dealing with challenges. These puppies stop that from happening. And that's the most important thing I can get through to you tonight. Because if we understand that, you can take control. You can take control of a lot of this and actually handle it so that your system is not so stressed to the point where, guess what? I don't have a stellar diet all the time. We're going to deal with food issues, guys. It's just the way it is. We're probably going to deal with some mental issues for our whole lives. Doesn't mean you can't detoxify it and get after it so that it's not a big stressor. But there's always going to be a stress there. But what I'm saying is that at some point, I can get the trash can, we can get the trash can to be half full. Now when the pollen comes in, you don't notice it. Now when there's a little more emotional stress in your life, you can handle it. And the body doesn't respond to it as an illness. So how do we do this? How do we punch holes in the trash can? How do we figure this out? Well, I already mentioned the heart rate variability. It's a very wonderful technique, not a technique, it's an analysis machine, a computerized test to give us an idea how well you regulate. There's also something called the computerized regulation thermography. This is a very specific and deep, intense test. It takes an hour. It's 128 points of temperature on the body. And it basically tells us how well every organ and system in your body regulates. The heart rate variability takes a general look. How do they regulate? The CRT goes, how does your liver regulate? How does your lungs regulate? How does your spleen regulate? Everybody in there. So that's another way that we're able to look and get a big idea of what's going on for the person. In order to lessen the trash can, we really look at things like nutritional response testing, and everybody that comes in and goes through a consult with us goes through that. They do a heart rate variability, and we lay them down and we do a nutritional response testing. Nutritional response testing is a very simple way to allow the nervous system to give us information about what's going on with the organs in regards to, is there a nutritional weakness? Is there some kind of biological weakness? Is there some kind of specific stressor that's causing the system not to work so well? It's a beautiful technique. It's about 25 years old, and it all revolves around muscle response testing. And muscle response testing is a very simple way that's been around for about 60 years now to allow the nervous system to give us information. So instead of guessing at what you need, because you give me a list of symptoms, I actually test and use your own body and let your body direct us to what does it really need. How is this going to unfold so that we can unfold this in a way that your system can handle it, not get real stressed out over it, and actually get to a place of living in wellness, being healed. Because you guys, our own bodies heal themselves. No one heals us. Okay? We work together. But I don't heal anybody. All I try and do is remove the blockages that stop you from healing. And I was in class with Dr. Rao a long time ago, a couple years ago, and towards the end of the 2-year process in the last class, one of the doctors stood up and asked him a question. And they said, Dr. Rao, how do you know when it's just too late? When do you give up on somebody? I thought it was a really good question. And he thought about it for a long time. I mean, he really took a few minutes and thought about it. And then he said, as long as, he's from Sweden, he said, as long as there's fire in the belly, there's hope. And I thought, well, that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Basically what he's saying is, if you're breathing, if you still have a little I'm here and oomph, then there's recovery. Then there can be recovery. And I've seen dramatic recoveries. So it's never too late. It's never too late to just turn around. So nutritional response testing allows us to get in there and look at what the organs need on a nutritional basis. Muscle response testing is the way we access the nervous system to allow that to happen. Then there's allergy elimination protocol. This is a combination of techniques over the last 20 years that I've actually stolen from different folks and developed over time. And this is a way to lessen the food allergy experience in the body, as well as take vibrational stress off the body in relationship to things like metals, chemicals, immune challenges, bacteria, virus, fungus, mold. It's a way to wake your system up to realize what it's dealing with and eliminate that stress. Then there's a technique called one. And this deals with the emotional stress that we all deal with. And there's so much information out there at this point, guys, on how our emotions and our thoughts affect our physical body. And I personally think one of the best and easiest and shortest reads, if you're interested in finding out about that, is a book called Who Switched Off My Brain by Dr. Carolyn Lee. She's in New Zealand. She's a medical doctor. And she has spent a long time documenting that what we think affects our physiology. And she claims, and it's pretty cool that I can say she claims this, she claims in the book that 90% of all illness and injuries first start in your thought life. Wow. So what she's saying is that voice in the back of your head that's always kind of on you, I'm not good enough, I didn't do well enough, I'm not that enough, I'm trying to life. That stuff absolutely affects your physical body. Emotional events in our lives have a deep impact on how our physiology responds from that point on. I literally look at emotional stress the same way I look at mental stress in the body, or bad nutritional stress for a long period of time. For me, they're all the same. I'll put one above all of them, which is the mental stress. I think it's the worst thing that can ever happen to your body is mental stress. Number two is emotional stuff that's never dealt with. I'm not kidding. If you can handle those two things, the rest of that stuff starts to handle itself. They're the two toughest things for people to get into, though. It's okay. Very important to try and handle that. Dr. Leaf says, hey, 90% of everything that happens to you on a physical level starts with what you're thinking about. And we actually work with clients all the time to help them switch over in the way they think about things. And it helps their healing. What other techniques do I think? Is there anything?
Suja,
Well, there's so much.
Sacral.
Yeah, so we have a
Gua
wonderful cranial
Gua
sacral
Sha.
practitioner, Gua Sha. There are lots of different techniques. All of them, let's do this. I'll put it in a big nutshell for you. All of them are designed to do two things. Make you more parasympathetic, because for about 90% of Americans, we're totally sympathetically stressed. What that means is that we're literally living in a world where we feel like we're under challenge all the time. I'm running from the tiger all the time. And I'll tell you what, guys, that will wear you out faster than almost anything. I almost did the 10 years thing. So many years ago, very long time ago in another life, I was in the military. When I was in the military, I was overseas. And when I was overseas, they took us to places in a helicopter. And they would drop us off for 3 or 4 days at a time. And we instantly became very sympathetic. Sympathetic nervous system. When you are sympathetic, you don't sleep, you don't rest, you don't digest. We would go out for 3.5 to 4 days at a time. When we were out, it was 3 of us at a time usually. When we were out, we did not, I'm not kidding you, we didn't feel the need to eat. I didn't poop, I didn't sleep, and we survived because our nervous systems were under a little bit of a challenge. That we would hear the helicopter come, we would hook up our harnesses, they'd jerk us up out of the jungle, and we would go back to where we thought we were safe. When we got to the place where we were safe, we would line right up to poop and eat and then hit the sack and sleep. Because once we realized, once the nervous system went, hey, you're not sympathetically stressed anymore, the body went right back to parasympathetic nervous system, and we did all of those things. And they'd let us chill for a couple of days, and then they'd send us back. And I got to experience big sympathetic stress, big parasympathetic response. Remember this, when your body is sympathetically stressed like that, it's always waiting for the counterbalance to happen. And what I'm finding in this experience is that for most of us, the counterbalance never kicks in. The parasympathetics are too weak. They're too stressed out. So the body's in the sympathetic mode all the time, and then it stops. It just stops. So our goal with all the therapies we do, and I know I didn't list a lot of therapies tonight. There's tons of things we do, but I'll make it simple for you. Everything we do is designed to do two things. Make you more parasympathetically open, available to the parasympathetics, taking that stress off the nervous system, and relieving the toxins. I want the toxic burden out of your body. And a lot of people run around going, I want a detox. I want a detox. I don't want you to detox. Because if I start to detoxify you and your drainage ability isn't open, you'll feel worse. I'm not doing you any good. I want to make sure that your kidneys and your bowels are really working so that the drainage can happen. Then I'll detoxify it. We'll start to detoxify some of those things, and you won't necessarily go through nasty symptoms while you do it. Now, there are definitely times where I punch holes in the trash can, and the person comes back in and goes, wow, my energy's much better, but I've got some rashes under my arm that you wouldn't believe. Okay. That's showing me that there's a burden in the body and an organ can't handle it, and the skin goes, I will take the stress. When you rash up, guys, it means that there's some other organ that can't handle the toxins, and your skin goes, I'll handle it. You can push it through me. So we watch all of that and realize it's just a dance, and if I can manage those wonderful symptoms of detoxification, your system will heal itself. I found that one of the more difficult things for people to understand on some level is the muscle response testing. How do you talk to the body? You know, a long time ago, Kelly was in a pretty bad car accident, and it was before I knew her. And she went to 8 different specialists over 4 years because she had very bad back pain. And she sat in front of every one of these specialists, and she told them her symptoms, and they wrote those symptoms down, and they wrote her prescriptions. Okay. So she ends up in my office a very long time ago, and she says to me, I had a car accident, I'm on all these pain meds, I don't want to manage my life like this. I said, okay. I got up off my stool and I walked over and I said, all right, so does the pain, do you hurt here? Do you hurt here? And she started to cry. And I went, okay. I sat back on my stool, I said, what's the matter? She said, I've been to 8 different specialists in 4 years. I said, okay. She said, not one of them ever physically touched me to say, there's the pain. She said, you're the first person to touch my back and ask me where my pain is. In 30 days, I had her pain free. And she's never gone back to that pain. So the issue is this, guys, there's a big philosophical, mental diversion happening, okay? You can't heal anybody without touching them. You're not going to get well without somebody working with you and actually putting their hands on you. But today, doctors are scared to death to do that. I know that every one of those specialists were scared to go, does it hurt here? Because if she started to cry, they go, oh my gosh, she's going to sue me. I just hurt her. That's what they're afraid of. Doctors are running out of Pennsylvania like crazy because of this. I look at, can we just lessen the trash can and allow your body to heal on its own? Because that's what's going to happen. Like I said, the strangest thing for a lot of folks is the muscle response testing. So is there any, I know a lot of you have had this done. Is there anyone here tonight that has never had muscle response testing? She points here. I'll hit a couple of them. You want to play, man? Come on up. Come on up. What's my... We're very good. What's your name? Hi, Andrew. I'm Ian. Nice to meet you. This stool has wheels on it. So have a seat, and if you wheel away on me, I'll catch you. How old are you, man?
16.
Okay, Andrew, right? Okay, so Andrew appears to be alive, yes?
Yeah.
And that means he should have a good working nervous system. This young man's got electricity running through his body all the time. He's physically strong, he looks good, and so here's what we're going to do. We're going to test his body's ability to, this is important because it looks weird and it seems esoteric, but I'm telling you, you can all learn how to do this. This is based in science. All we're testing is his body's ability to allow biological energy to flow to a muscle. Our muscles are the least important thing to our body in relationship to staying alive. The body goes, the most important thing in my organs and my brain. Gotta keep my organs and my brain going, okay? My muscles are not that important. This is interesting because he will give me a nice strong muscle test. I'm gonna stress your arm a little bit, you're gonna resist my pressure. And I'll touch different areas on him, and if he stays strong on the arm, it tells me that everything I'm touching, and I'll explain this to you, it's perfectly good energetically. If I touch a part of his body and his arm turns off, it just tells us that the nervous system goes, whatever dermatome is a reflex point, whatever reflex point you're touching here, based to an organ inside, that is more important. That is more important than allowing this muscle to get energy. I got to take all the energy and give it to this organ because you're stressing me out. That's exactly how this works. It's really pretty simple. Okay, so we're going to play. All right. Cool. You're going to bring your arm up like this. I'm going to push down on your wrist with 2 to 3 pounds worth of pressure for 2 to 3 seconds. It's not a strength test between you and I. Okay? I want you to feel like you can resist this pressure with your shoulder. Ready? Here we go. Now you pull this. it's hard, huh? Yeah, do this. Be strong for me. Here we go. I'm a hard muscle tester. He's a very strong guy. Now here's the interesting thing. Okay. I'm old. My brain's getting hey, so Andrew and I, ready, buddy? Be strong. Andrew and I can stand like this for an hour. I'm not pushing that hard. He's resisting me. He's a very strong guy. He's got great energy. Now, put your hand down for a second. I'll explain this to you. In the palms of your hands, in the openings of your ears, the opening of your mouth, and your belly button have different nerve fibers, different skin than anywhere else on the body. These are called autonomic nervous system fibers. Your palms and your ears and your mouth and your belly button are chock full of these very special fibers. Now look, I'm going to go out on left field for a second. Thank God. I believe at this point, after doing this for so long, I honestly believe that these areas of your body are designed to pick up information from the environment and give information to your nervous system that you're not conscious of. Okay, it's weird enough. I know that if I stretch my hand out and I apply this to his ear, his mouth, or his belly button while I push on his arm, his nervous system perceives that as a sympathetic challenge. It's a false challenge, but his body thinks it's a sympathetic challenge. And if it does, it'll shut the arm right off and he'll go weak and he'll freak out. It's a weird feeling. Yeah. And if you don't, it's perfectly okay. If he stays strong, then it tells me there's something wrong with his central nervous system. We figured that out. And I doubt it with this guy. I doubt it, but I don't know. It's happened before. All right, brother, be strong if you can. That's very good. Stay strong if you can. He regulates. What? What? What is that? What is that? You know, it's like vaudeville, you know, the old sideshows. Yeah. Give me a quarter and I'll show you something cool, right? Come here, be strong for me, man. That's very good. And now I literally create a false challenge to his nervous system, and his arm shuts off. He's trying hard, but you feel the difference, man? It's good. Now, when a body does this for me, I instantly can go, oh, it'll talk to me, and I can touch areas of his body, and his arm will turn on and off. Stand up for me so I don't wheel you around. And I can do it standing. And when I'm not going to do a whole body scan on this guy. I'll poke around a little bit. We'll see what we find, just for fun, okay? All right. Hold if you can, man. Stay strong if you can. I'll do your belly button. Stay strong if you can. You regulate like a champ. Is that not weird?
That's crazy.
It is crazy. All right, be strong if you can. This is how your body actually works. This is how your body will talk to us. You got upper sinus issues. Hold on.
Wow.
You got lower sinus issues. Let me have your tonsil points. Your immune challenge is not too bad. Hold again. Your thyroid feels awesome. Your thymus feels great. Your lungs feel very good to me. Your small intestines are ridiculously weak. Come here. Be strong for me. So look, here's his belly button. Here's his belly button. And if I take my hand and I just touch on, look at that. If I touch on either side of his belly button, be strong here, brother. He blows right out. Now you want to see something crazy? I'll show you something crazy and I'll get you all out of here. Take your hand and just gently go like that right at your nose.
Right here?
Yeah. And now go here. Ready? Hold it for me if you can. See how strong you got?
Yeah.
Take your hand away. Ready? Be strong. Relax. Oh, good. Huh? Here's why. This is a great thing to end with. Here's why that happens. I already mentioned it. My mouth, my nose, and my sinuses are the beginning of my mucosal membrane that goes all the way down through my digestive tract, my small intestines, my large intestines, and out the exit. It's one piece. So if I touch this guy in the sinuses, hold for me, and he blows out, when I'm working with folks, I immediately go to the stomach and go, let's see what's happening here. And he blows out. Then I go, go like this. And I go like this. And he gets strong. He's got a digestive problem. I got to fix his digestive problem, his mucosal lining, and I have no idea anything going on with this young man, but he would rebuild. His immune system will rebuild. His mucosal lining will rebuild. Do you have any digestive problems?
I know, man.
You poop every day?
Yeah.
Good, man. Hold. His liver feels fantastic. His gallbladder feels great. I think you got a little food allergy thing. That's what I think. You got some kind of little digestive issue. Hold for me again. Your kidneys feel good. You an athlete?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold if you can. His jaw feels good to me. Frontal brain is weak. Hold again. Cerebral spinal fluid feels good. The back of your head feels good. Watch. Hey, man. Do you have a hard time concentrating?
No.
Have you had any head injuries?
Oh.
Yeah,
Football.
a couple of concussions.
Ooh. So that would be fun to fix.
Yeah.
Hold if you can. Oh yeah. So that would be Beth's work. See, she'll very weak on this side. Hold for me right here. That's ridiculous,
Oh, wow.
huh?
Yeah.
Feel this one, brother.
Yeah, I feel some.
Feel this. Whoa. Now watch. I'll show you something. This will hurt.
Feels tight.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But I'll just do this. Okay, play.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Okay, go there. Sit. Thanks a lot. He's got a good body. He's got a good working nervous system. I love laying young guys down because the body's just like boom, da boom, da boom, da boom, boom, just done. All right.
More. I mean,
Anybody
you have
else?
5 minutes.
Who else wants to play real quick? Feel this. Anybody? Yeah, come on up. Come on up.
You have to also pick John. I'm being biased,
All
but
right, have a seat, guys.
we had to know each other, but we didn't. But we went to the same college, and he's
Oh.
with the back pain, and you
Okay.
have to test him.
Hi. What's your name?
Janelle.
Hi, Janelle.
Okay. I did have my hand up.
He had his hand up too, so I didn't like volunteer him. He volunteered.
I'll end with you. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Janelle.
Hi, Janelle. Somebody test my frontal brain. It's just been a long day. Okay, so look, Janelle, brand new person. She looks alive. I think she's got a nervous system. So I'm gonna try and test her, and we'll just see. Well, the beautiful thing about this, guys, really, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. The beautiful thing about this is that there's just no guessing, and I don't care what changes from week to week. If her body tells me it's this, it's that, it's the other thing, I keep going down that road. I keep going down that road for this reason. Don't go anywhere. Illness and health, right? Illness and health. Here's what we're taught. I'm sick, I go to the doc, he gives me something, I get better. If I don't take care of my health, I end up getting sick. That makes sense, yeah? But it's a lie, because it doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't work that way. It's never a straight line. It's absolutely not linear. Here's what it looks like. I come in with symptoms. I might even say, oh, I'm ill. And I go, okay, I'm going to empty your trash can. I'm going to deal with your emotional stuff. Oh, that's fun. I'm even back here. And then we do some detoxification. Oh, I'm feeling better. Oh, you're doing emotional stuff again. Thanks a lot. Clear my allergies out. Foods, chemicals. And then finally, oh my God, I feel better. It is never a straight line back to wellness. It's always a winding road. You're going to ride a roller coaster. I'm better. I'm worse. I don't know how I feel. Oh, I'm depressed. It can be all kinds of things. It's not a straight line. It's always a winding road back to health. And if you're willing to go, that is the journey. I did not get here overnight. You're not getting back here overnight. It's a good way to look at it. Okay, now let's play. Let's test you. Hold if you can. Here we go. Be strong. That's good. Free adjustment. Come here, do this one. Hold if you can. That's very good. You're nice and strong. I'm going to test you against your belly. Here we go. You regulate. Do it again. Be strong. Feel this. Stay like that. That lock. Oh, you regulate like a champ. No problem. So let's do something different with you, okay? Okay. Maybe. Look right in my eye. Look right in my eye. And that makes you weak to look in my eye. It's weird, huh? Play again. Be strong. That's very strong. Look right in my eye. Yeah, it's weird, huh? Take this hand and go like that. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm sitting up here. And look right in my eye. You see how strong you just got? Huh? Remember we talked about this one? She's going to be like, I'm out of here. Remember this? 90%? Emotional. 90% of what happens to us, how our body responds, is emotional stuff. That test that you and I just did, look each other in the eye, weakness, put your hand on your forehead, makes you strong, is a test to see if there's emotional stress in the body. And guess what? She goes, you got some, huh? Now look, it's okay. If you want, we can play, and we can just run this little story, and if we get to any point where you go, I don't want to do this in front of this group, that's fine. You want to play? You okay with it? Okay, cool. We're gonna, what I call light you up again. Let me explain this, okay? When you go right eye to right eye with somebody, has anyone ever heard of the evil eye? Remember back in the day?
Yeah.
He gave me the evil eye. Well, let me tell you something. There's truth to that, okay? There's truth to that. Gypsies from Spain, typically, and Eastern Europe, knew that if you walked up to someone and looked them in the right eye with your right eye, it brings up emotional trauma, brings up emotional stress that the person has had in their life. And the doc who taught me to do this realized that and said, you can go right eye to right eye with somebody, and if they go weak, there's emotional stress in their body, and it then never fails. So let's play, and I'll release this for you, okay? Maybe. It's okay. It's okay. All right, here we go. Let's play. Look right in the eye. She's like really being strong. She's like, no, I am emotionally cool. And you are. Put your hand on your forehead. Look at me in the eye. That's awesome. Take your hand down. There's only 3 things that we respond to in life. Be strong. Money, job, finance, career. Totally strong. Anyone you've ever loved, anyone that's ever loved you, that's all relationships in your life. Okay. And then there's you as an individual. How about you? How about all relationships? Okay, there's only a few, actually. So, anything to do with friends. Anything to do with family. Here we go. Anything to do with, there's 2 types of family. How about the family that you've created, husbands and children, things like that? How about the family you come from, moms and dads? Okay, so we're just playing. Anything to do with mom. Anything to do with dad. That's okay. So now look, here's what I want to do. Here's what we're going to do. I don't know her. That's okay.
I don't either.
I think that's a lie. Listen, I want you to realize something. I'll get you out of here. I know I'm burning time. When someone's arm weakens, when they seem like they lose power, all that means is that there's an incongruency with the concept. It means the body doesn't really believe that. If she's strong, it just means her body believes that. And it's important to understand that. This does not prove any historical facts. It's what her system thinks. Okay, so let's just play. Every single organ in your body and reflex point relates to different emotions. Emotions are not in your brain, they're in the organs of your body. They're released by something called a neuropeptide, and it gives you a psychological effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the word, I'm going to keep you like this. I'm going to say dad, and you go weak. It's okay. I'm going to touch different areas of her body, and she'll suddenly go strong. So dad, no. Dad, no. Dad, no. Dad, absolutely not. Dad, really? You go strong there? Hold. Dad, let's play. How about here? Dad. What if I go right here? Dad. Okay, that's your bladder. There's only a few emotions for the bladder. And it's cool. It's okay. Do you have bladder issues?
I don't think so.
Oh, good. Okay. Hold if you can. So is it paralyzed will? Fear. Dread. Hopelessness. Impending doom. So that's okay. So you're good. So you're impending doom. All right. So let's just go there for a second, okay? Impending doom is the idea that the body feels like I have fear of the future. So when it comes to your father, where do you have some fear of the future? It's the first thing that comes in your mind if you had to answer that question.
He's really negative.
That he's really negative. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Where does it give you fear of your future? Where's it?
My future?
Yeah. Where's it bring up a little? Geez, my future. I'm a little worried about it.
I don't want to end up like him.
Okay. So let's play. Anything to do with that idea? Yeah. And your body says yes. Now, is there an original time, the very first time, where your nervous system responded with impending doom around a situation like this? And when was the very first time? Conception through birth? Our bodies remember everything from the moment you're conceived. Birth to 10? How about birth to 5? Yeah, that's okay. How about when you were a 1-year-old? When you were 2? When you were 3? When you were 4? How about birth through 3, this concept of impending doom? How about when you were 4? Now you got to tell me what's going on at 4 years old where you're worried about your future.
My sister was born.
Ooh, she had some nerve. Your future was in big jeopardy, man. She took your spot. The nerve. Come here. Hold if you can.
Hospitalized.
And yet, whoa.
She was born.
Why did you have to be hospitalized because she was born?
I had a staph infection?
She had a staph infection.
Ooh, you were really mad.
No, her.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Come here. So think about that for me. You're 4 years old. The sister's born.
She was
Oh, yes, you do.
Actually, you were 3.
Trust
she
me.
was 3.
I'll give it to her.
Okay.
You're 3. You got staph infection. You're going to the hospital, and you got a sister who's going to take your spot. Your future's in real jeopardy. Oh my God. Think about it for me. Yeah, think about it. Watch. She'll go weak. Put your hand on your bladder. It's below your navel. And just hold that and think about this experience for that 3-year-old. Totally strong. Put this hand on your forehead. And think about it. Use your imagination. Think about the 3-year-old feeling like, hey, here comes the sister. The family is shifting. I've got this infection. They're taking me to a hospital. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And one more. Breathe in. And breathe out. So this changed her whole life. Come here. Yeah. Hold if you can for me. Think about it. Turn your head to the left real quick. Yeah. Any other emotions around this? Look me right in the eye again. Remember that? Oh, where'd the weakness go? Be strong. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just do this. Just do me a favor. Say I'm okay with Dad.
I'm okay with Dad.
I'm okay with Mom.
I'm okay with Mom.
I'm okay with my sister.
I'm okay with my sister.
Yeah, I'm okay with the sister that took my spot.
I'm okay with the sister that took my spot.
That's beautiful. All right. That's a different way of helping her nervous system. Okay, man, come on up. Because if the Phillies were on, we'd be out of here.
So weird.
So weird.
5
Is
minutes.
that gone forever now? Or
Yeah.
can it come back?
Well, how much money you got? Hi.
I got a sore wrist.
Oh, so I got to fix that?
You got a bunch of things here.
What's your name?
John.
Hi, John. I'm Ian. So, I got a bunch of things, huh? Okay. Well, let's do muscle testing. Just see if we got a muscle test. How's this shoulder? Can I work that shoulder?
That shoulder hurts.
And what about this shoulder?
That shoulder's it. I could do it, but
Oh, that's okay, man.
If you're at
So
it, it hurts.
I'll bring you out here. That's okay. I'm gonna push down. You resist. Let's see what you feel like. Okay. Be strong if you can for me. You're good. Hold if you can. Yeah, do it again. That's so good. Do it again for me. So he's blocked in his gut. His body doesn't respond. Be strong for me if you can. Give me a absorber vial. So when I muscle test him, the body's like, I'm not sure. Do you sleep well, or you have a hard time sleeping?
sleep well.
You sleep well, fall asleep easy enough?
Yeah,
Okay, stay asleep through the night,
most times.
most times. Okay.
Lucky him.
Thank you. Hold that in your hand, brother, and I just want to see if this feels different on a muscle test. Be strong if you can. Hey, there you go. Be strong. Stay strong like that. You see how that changes now?
Oh, it's
When-
amazing.
it's weird, huh?
Yeah.
If I take this from you, though, my friend, and do that, feel this. No change. You're blocked in a certain way. And what this is, guys, this is a vial that has been electronically imprinted with a vibration that when I put it in his electromagnetic field, because we all are living creatures and we have this electromagnetic field, when his body perceives this, his nervous system goes, oh, those 7 stressors? I don't see them right now. And I'll regulate for you. But when I take this away from him, his gut stops. It's just interesting. Hold this for me and let's play. I'll figure you out. Hold it if you can. All right, that feels pretty good. You have back pain. That's what your thing is?
Yes.
Okay. How long, just for fun, how long have you had the back pain? Years and years and years?
18 years.
And does it
He
come
got
and go?
the same year I got it from a different way. We were
Were you
both
in an
at
accident?
Cornell. No,
Rowing caused it.
Rowing caused it? Okay, hold if you can.
I know.
Hold if you can. And let's play over here. So now, okay, ready? He goes, I've got back pain. And so where did I go? I didn't go to his back. Huh? I didn't go to his back. I went here on him. Hold if you can. Come on, dude, be strong. Nothing. He's got nothing there. Is that tender?
Yeah.
And so, what are your bowels like? Do you have bowel problems?
No.
No.
Every day.
Every day. Good. Okay. I'm going to go to your low back. Hold. That's okay. I don't care. Hold if you can, man. So has anyone ever told you it's not your back? Okay, it's not your back. Hold if you can. You got a neck thing like nobody's business. Hold again. You got a terrible neck thing. Let's go to your low back, brother. Hold if you can. I'm telling you, man. let me do this. Do you have the pain in here, or is it absolutely like this stuff
On the spine.
on the spine? Okay, stay strong.
This is sore.
Stay strong. Stay strong. So, if we were to play together, I'm not kidding you, I'd work your neck. I wouldn't adjust you, but I'd work things for your neck. I would work what's called the ileocecal valve in your digestive system. Let me test your small intestines. Hold strong if you can. Okay, stand up for a second. I'm going to guess that you have the pain all the time. Or, you know, no?
Non-stop.
It's non-stop.
Non-stop 18 years.
Holy mackerel.
I know. That's why.
That's good. Okay, non-stop, 18 years. And let
So
me
I
ask you
miss
this. Are there positions that you can go in where you go, that's really not nice, that's bad?
Yeah.
And what would that be?
Standing or bent over.
Bending over a little bit, you feel
Yeah.
it more?
Yeah.
And so, okay, even as you're standing here right now, what would you say? An 8, a 9, a 10, 10 being shoot me in the head.
Nah, 5
A 5.
right now.
Right now, standing, you got a 5. Just breathe for a second. Breathe and relax. Give me a little muscle test again, man. Bend over and see what your back feels like. Just go ahead. Any difference? Really got back pain?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it change at all when I did that?
No.
I mean, that looks pretty good. You flexing like that. Tender there? Any of that? Real tender?
Yeah, that's the time I feel that. What it felt like you're doing here is it felt like my back got relaxed
Yeah.
from touching the front.
Yeah.
Because the back, I'm always in pain, so it's stressed and tightens up.
I'm with you. That's why I'm here. I would work this like nobody's business. I would work your legs. I would work this in here. I wouldn't mess with your back too much. And I'd get you up and off the table with a light. I'd work some light therapy with you. And I'd have you moving and turning. And you go, I can't find my back pain. And that would be pretty cool. Right? You're a good muscle tester, but there's his system, and it's most likely the chronic back pain for so long, his system's slowly blocking up. His regulation is slowly shifting into more of a blocked regulation because the system, his body goes, I'm not going to deal with this much longer. I'm going to put you in second gear and let you go for the rest of your life, but I can't deal with this back pain anymore. And believe it or not, when his regulation finally kind of goes and stops, he'll probably have less back pain, but other illnesses will start to show up. He'll start to have other peripheral weird things show up. And he'll start to forget about the back pain, but that's one of the chronic stressors that's stopped his regulation. So I'd love to work with you, but that's not an overnight experience. That's not a miracle. I mean, it may be a miracle. But I would really work your gut and work this for you, man. Especially if you've been an athlete for a long time. You'd be surprised how tight they are.
I just gotta ask, what'd you do? Catch a crab? How'd you hurt your back rowing? Just from the erg?
Yeah.
From improper use of the erg?
I don't know if it was improper, but that just the
Going
pulling like
back.
this with my back, I blew a
The
disc
low
out
back
of my
right
back.
here.
Oh, yeah?
Just the lean back
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah. So here's what I would do with this guy. And some of you have been in my therapy room. I'd put him on my table and I make him get into position. And I'd go, row! And I'd work his nervous system so that his body would do that, and I would change the neurological program that he experienced when he tweaked the back. And his body, if you can change the brain, the body will let go of it. And he'd go, man, I don't feel it. I don't feel it anymore. Yeah, it's because your neurology doesn't have to register it anymore. It'd be fun to work with you. It'd be fun to work with you. I'm pretty sure I could help you. And that's the other thing, guys. I'll get you out of here. Thanks so much.
Yep, I got sore wrist.
Well, what's with the wrist, man?
Well, I also
Where's
have,
the soreness?
I also have RSD in my feet and my hands.
Oh. So that's a whole different ballgame.
What's ours?
Reflex sympathetic dystrophy.
It means they don't know why he has nerve pain. It means they don't know why I have nerve pain. Yeah. No
I
one
got
knows
it
why.
in one foot. It literally jumped into the other foot within a week.
Really?
God.
How's that possible?
How long ago did that start?
I got it in my hands 4 years ago. My feet 2 years ago. I literally got it in my right foot from driving on the gas pedal. It just inflamed. My foot was out of control. Didn't use my left foot at all. Within a week, I had the exact same pain in my left foot.
As well as the right.
Yeah.
Trash can's full.
The trash
And
can's real full,
right,
man.
and that's what you were saying, right? After 14 years of feeling with that pain, his body started to throw it off. And
Well,
off.
it tries to disperse it.
Yeah.
It goes, listen, I'm done here. I'm going to run it down your legs. I'm going to put it in your arms. I need to try and disperse this so that you can continue to survive. Your body never makes a mistake. It only compensates. That's what we're up against. Thanks a lot, man.
Yep, thank you.
All right. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I know I ran late. I appreciate your time. If you're interested in going through a consult, see the girls at the front desk. You can absolutely go through that. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes. Put you on the heart rate variability, do a nutritional response testing, figure out what's going on for you, give you an idea where your health is at. I appreciate you being here tonight. We do free workshops every month typically.
Next month we're not, because we're doing our open house.
And next month is our open house, April 30th, I think.
Yeah, I'll come up and talk about it for 2 minutes because you don't know anything about it.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I will be there. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. I
So
appreciate it.
April 30th, please. April 30th is our open house. It'll be here, it'll be downstairs, it'll be outside. We're gonna have activities for the kids so all the adults can come and actually learn and have fun as well. But the kids are we're maybe gonna have a moon bounce. We're working on that, and
Yeah.
balloons, and we're gonna have our art teacher that painted all of our walls, for those of you who've been in our walls, here doing face painting and clay work and stuff for the kids. For adults, however, it's going to be all about the local community and how you can reinvest into your local community with food, with acupuncture, with chiropractor, all the ancillary therapies we do, hydrocolon therapy. We're going to have a lot of our local folks that we refer to all the time here, so you guys can meet them. We're also going to have demonstrations of the heart rate variability, the ion cleanse foot baths. Dr. Janice will be here demonstrating neural therapy. Beth will be here demonstrating cranial sacral therapy.
I'll be doing muscle testing
stuff. How to break a reaction. He's
Yeah.
going to do a workshop directly on how to break an allergic reaction, all about allergy eliminations and those kind of things. So
It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, 10 to 3 day. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we welcome everybody from the general public. So that's it. That's what you're doing on April 30th. The next class isn't until May.
And then after that, we'll do another basic in May. And then typically a couple times a year, I try and do an advanced workshop where if you've come to basic classes, we pick one subject and go deep into it to get a better understanding of how we would deal with whatever it is biologically. Okay? So, thanks a lot. Drive safe. And we'll see you soon. Have a good night.
Then you had no urge if you were not hurt on the earth.
No.
Urge, Todd Kennett, I own you and his Todd for over 2 years, but he was the lightweight coach your freshman year. No, your sophomore year.
I literally like
Straight ahead and
my first year there, and I didn't roll again.
Okay. Just want to make sure
You got hurt
that way I'm doing it.
we're the same age, got hurt the same month. Both on the rowing team. I got off, I got on. I was rowing at Italy College my freshman year with Tom. Rowed, became the coach at Italy. Recruited me on the rowing team. Then recruited me to go to Cornell. He went over to he's now the heavyweight coach. He was rightfully voted as coach of the year.
He must have went one card the other day. He literally said, I couldn't figure out which one. It was between 2 cards, so I just muscle tested. I took the one I was stronger on. I'm like, that's awesome, buddy. He doesn't care. When he's stuck, he'll text. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
in and out of the Cornell pretty quickly. After I got hurt,
I'm not sure. I'll tell you what I'll do is I would have to rate
my road crew
That's what I would do. I would do a couple of knees, see how you feel, and unless you say to me, I suffer from X, Y, Z. This is an issue for me. You're
And I sat on the rowing team.
But you said, came to me and said, I actually have
I got infected in fly rowing. I didn't realize. I never saw a boat until I went to college, and then once they got me, I was in the training in November. I was loved it. And so I did the hex and I was able to
I have before you can speak, brothers. It is what it is. I just don't, and most of us, look, for me, when I find a small
only testing.
Because I was miserable when I found it, that's all I wanted to do. I mean,
A long time ago.
my brother was
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I would actually, I had that my whole life.
You know, if you're interested in it,
I would do
I'm really interested in it. She said, "You're gonna figure it out."
Yeah,
I actually football.
This is great. And then we're like, go to Florida. Go to Florida, turn the boat over. I'm like, wait, I've never seen this. Find myself with all you people. And then get
That's
in.
ridiculous.
That's how
You know, yeah, football. I had it was
I
this
was
to the
not
side of the net.
there.
Yeah.
But then I love running. I love
Still do?
surfing. I mean, I work out, but I don't have time. I actually met a rower.
Yeah.
Before, about 6 months ago.
Yeah. I know. I feel like it is at a
I totally feel it. Yeah, just relax. I got you.
Yeah.
Up you go.
And how did you,
Now let's test
I
it.
got out, well, I was pre-med, and I got very Please.
I'm going home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I sit you out there because there's so much evidence.
no, this is.
So I got out and didn't know what I wanted to do. I switched from pre-med to pre-vet while I was there because I was up to here. The same year that I was in a car accident, my father ended up having 2 strokes. Thanks so much, Susan. Good to see you. You were awesome. I was so glad I was recording. Thank you so much for having a perfect face. So my father had a couple strokes that year, and I ended up literally living in hospitals and dying. Oncologist, cut, medicate, radiate. I'm done. And he had his whole life. He had cancer 7 times. So I want to be a doctor. And then I worked in a serious way. This car. Thanks, I got out of school and didn't know what I wanted to do. I started working for an environmental sales company, and they hired him. Ended up in Valley Forge as one of my first officers. They hired him to come and train the salespeople how to overcome sales obstacles by doing that emotional eating. Had nothing to do with pain.
Right.
And I said it to your wife last night. Too much. I mean, I had an ego the size of Texas, and he was up there doing that little muscle testing thing, and I was like, that's totally where I was. Like, give me a break. So I went to his office, and that's exactly what he said. Exactly what happened. And it brought tears to my eyes when we were up in that room. Makes me still a little emotional because it was so overwhelming to me that I went to all these specialists, neurologists, pain specialists, orthopedic surgeons, blah, 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 and they just took more pictures, more CAT scans, more MRIs, more ultrasounds. And all I would say is, I'm done. I wake up at 5, I go to bed and I'm done. I can't do it. I can't live on your Vicodin and your Flexeril anymore. It's been 3 years. And you can't tell me that my body doesn't have more of an ability to handle a car accident. Granted, I compressed 2 vertebrae, I was scalped, I lacerated my spleen, but I was a rower. I worked out 4 hours a day before this car accident, and now my back isn't getting worse for the rest of my life. Never wanted to have kids. Told me I couldn't carry a child. Then I was like, what do you mean you can't? I can't. I'll show you. I mean, it's now I don't have because I have 6 nieces. I haven't devoted any time in my life to that yet. But I throw my 6 nieces up on my shoulders and walk them from Disney for 5 days, and my brothers are like, they still think what I do is crazy. But they can't dispute that for 5 years, 3 years, I slept in a recliner chair. You know, I had no quality of life because I was so frustrated at how much of my life was taken from me. Not to mention the fact I felt 90. I felt 90 years old, and I was 20. And I remember thinking about turning 30 and going, take me now. I don't want to be 30. I don't even want to be 25 at how I feel at 20. Now I'm 37. She said you were born in 74. I feel like I'm 12. I have the energy. I have the energy of a 5-year-old. I work so much. I mean, he's working on me with balance. I'm not the greatest at balance. I know how to work. And I know how to work. He's
work on me advance. I take days off now, vacations, all that is good.
Actually,
But for me, I want to change medicine. I always wanted to change medicine.
a leave on lotion.
And what's frustrating to me is people like yourself,
different.
people
It
like
took me
mine
a while to
that
get
want an answer and go to one after another, and all they have is moisturizer.
So
That's
I
all they
really
have,
using
and
it for a little
God
bit.
bless them, that's all their school for. But what frustrates me the
really
most
like
is
it.
I
I
went
have
back to the neurologist in Rochester, New York, who was really in charge of my case,
haven't had that
and I
experience.
took him the stuff that I
But
made.
besides
It was
saying how good it is, I mean, other people love it.
And I
People
said-
that do use it come back for
The
it.
whole way, and I don't know if you get this too, but the way they all helped me was to help me cope with my stuff, was to
Yeah.
tell me all the other patients they had that were just like me, that managed my pain, just like I'll manage my pain. That wasn't really helpful for me. But when I went back and said, hey, here are these things that this guy did, and he pushed my arm and found all this stuff, and
Yeah.
we're dealing with it, and he asked me to leave his office.
Like you said, maybe too much at one time, and I've always been prone to burn.
I didn't understand it for about 5 years,
actually got a
and
rash
now
on
I
my
understand
hands,
that. You know how much
and
money
then
I've spent in the
face,
medical
and then
community
I
since I
broke
met
down.
Elaine?
And now the rash is pretty
Zero.
much gone, but I'm still kind of breaking out.
That's why.
So,
And that's what disgusts me.
but I'm trying to
Because
so many
iron
Yeah.
started to get
Yeah.
me better.
nothing seems to really be helping.
I didn't have any
Yeah.
need to go get my pain meds. I didn't need to get my muscle relaxers. And after that, we delved into all the allergies and asthma I had my whole life growing up, all my emotional issues,
Yeah.
my dad dying, all that
Maybe
stuff.
something like that.
And I became a junkie.
He has one of these.
And obviously, this was my passion in life to begin
Yeah.
with, but that's what aggravates
Yeah,
me, is
those,
that there is no money in the cure. You know, we constantly have to do workshops every
figure
single month. We have to work to constantly
Yeah.
let people know what we do, because people get better and then they disappear.
Oh,
Because
really?
they're better.
Yeah.
Than just a regular.
And we don't see them anymore,
Yeah.
and that's
makes sense.
good,
Yeah, we
but that's
have icons and
frustrating
blackberries and
from a perspective of
it's much
how are we
higher.
going to ever change medicine
And this
if
just
money
sticks right
is
on
what
it.
makes
yeah,
the world
it's just
go
a little
round.
sticker, right to
If
either the
the
front or
cure
the back.
is, here, take
Yeah.
some homeopathic plant that really costs us nothing to
I
make.
think that this one is 45.
So they can't make $1 million off of that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure.
The stuff that he gave me, I stopped taking after a couple years. I would say I've had twinges of like, oh, that's sore after I bale hay all day long or do something crazy like that. But to never have back pain for 15 years is
Did you have surgery?
no. They wanted to fuse my
You were the
vertebrae.
doc-
They need to. They told me that they were going to have to fuse my vertebrae about mid-30s, mid-40s. They'd fuse my vertebrae. I had an issue with that. They're 4 vertebrae apart. T4 and T8 are far apart, and if you fuse them, that's right here. That's no movement. Hold on, I gotta show you. Was this the second part of the seminar when Kelly's chatting? 40.
And you guys are still open to bring things up?
Yeah. My files actually.
This many hours with us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, how much of this do you put on at a time?
Go ahead. Marcy's done. It's exactly like Marcy.
No, it's a little bathroom. It
Yes.
smells a little bit funny. There's live enzymes in it.
The only place
At
that
this
I
point, I'll try anything.
yeah, everybody
I
asks.
mean, I've gone through all the essential oils and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness.
It's essential
Yeah.
oils. It's really good, and one spray is all you need.
Yeah.
And I will buy this, and I guess that's
I actually had my chart in
I think so.
I think that was all I wanted to look at.
actual amongst all the other charts. That never happens. I was actually put away. So that's me right before I met him. 6 months before I met him.
Now I remember.
That was 3 years after the accident.
It's Andy,
I was really not happy and really
And
screwed
your
up.
first name?
Janelle, J-A-N.
Yeah, you might recognize that little. That was me. You might not recognize. I don't recognize you, and I would remember somebody that was 6'8". I'll tell you, 6'7". I'd remember that because I come from the land of giants too. So I would have remembered you, but it sounds like we went like this. You went off
What
like
was your first year there?
my sophomore year was 90. Graduated high school in 92. Yeah. So it would have been 93. Yeah. Yep.
Your sophomore year was 93. Fall
Right.
Okay, that was my freshman year.
Oh. So I was on the women's team, obviously, not the men's team. Yeah.
That was really weird.
That is very weird. And and if you ever,
Who else do you
Do
want
you guys
to
ever
mention?
offer any kind of specials or just
I only ever talk to Todd. Todd also, when he worked
That
at
was
college,
also
he also
Kelly
raced sled dogs.
Yeah, if
And he got me a job doing
of
that.
those kind of questions for your full initial, Kelly would be the one.
We're only 5 years apart. We became very good friends. And I never got sucked into the rowing cult. I was not part of the rowing cult, if you know what I mean. Like, I didn't do the parties, I didn't do
I was like the black sheep on every team because I was not that person. I was the hippie chick that like loved to exercise and loved to row, and
Debbie.
I wasn't into all that other stuff. You know what I mean? So I got sucked into that. So I don't really hang out with any of the men except for Todd, who now is the head coach and wonderful. He's wonderful. And he totally knows everything we do. He's totally into it because he knew this person.
Thank you.
I rode for him. We went to states. We won states a couple times.
I bought this.
Oh, pink towels, Harold. Excuse me.
Because I didn't buy one for yours.
I believe about 4 for the price of 1.
I know, I'm still mad that I gave it back to you.
Kelly.
I'm mad that I.
Kelly's. Yeah. So, yeah.
Emotional.
I know. Yeah, they did. For me.